So in my hand, I have a 4-iron and a 4 hybrid. Now a 4-iron is incredibly hard to hit. Most amateurs out there really struggle hitting the 4-iron, and the simple reason is because you need a lot of speed. You need to be able to generate speed to get that nice launch. So we're going to get rid of that, and we are going to focus on how to hit this hybrid. This is going to become your new best friend. If you are that golfer who, when you get to your longer irons, you just don't see any differences in your carry distances, or maybe you hit the shots, they come out super flat and you just can't hold any greens, then you really do need to consider hybrids. And don't sort of see it as a higher handicapper club. You know, the technology has improved so much in these clubs that tour pros are now putting them in, and they are really benefiting from them. The great thing about a hybrid is it can kind of effortlessly get the ball up in the air, and that's because it's designed to do that. With the way the face is built, it's very forgiving, not only toe to heel, but also top to bottom. Now, the other thing is, because of the width of the sole, this sort of helps us with a load of different things. The first thing is it pulls the center of gravity back in the club, which just gets that ball launching just way higher straight away. A good sort of 4 to 5 degrees, depending on the golfer. Obviously it changes, but it's just going to get that ball launching so much higher. That therefore means it's going to get to a better peak height, and as it lands, you're going to have a chance at holding those greens. So then the next question I get asked all the time is, Giles, how do you hit this? Do you treat it more like a fairway would, or do you treat it more like a long iron? And I would say, look, these clubs are designed to replace a long iron. So hit them the way you would hit a long iron. So that means we are still trying to feel like we take a divot. We might not actually take a divot due to the added width of the sole, but we're going to feel like we still have that intent of hitting down and taking a divot. We're going to feel like we can hit these with a bit of speed because we need speed to hit longer clubs. And ultimately, we're going to set up the same way. We're going to have the same swing thoughts. So let's now jump into how to set up to a hybrid. So let's just run through a quick A to Z on what we are looking for when it comes to hitting a hybrid. So the first thing is, let's start with the feet. Feet want to be pretty much shoulder width apart, maybe a hair wider. So I like to draw a line down from the edges of my shoulders, and I roughly want to see them touch the center of the ankles. That's just going to personalize down the stance width to you. Obviously, if you've got broader shoulders, you're going to have a little bit more mass to support, so you're going to need a wider stance. If you've got narrow shoulders, you don't need as wide of a stance, you don't have as much mass to support, so it's just going to personalize it down for you. Then from there, really the question I get asked all the time is ball position. Where do we want it? Well, I often see players get it too far back and too far forward. So let's put that to bed right now. Really, really simple. We want to have a slight descending blow, so let's position that ball somewhere underneath the left ear. That's going to put us in a perfect position to where we can still get that ball then ground contact, but it's also going to be shallow enough to where we can still get that beautiful high launch. So it's going to be that happy medium place. Again, exactly the same way we'd set up to a 4-iron. Now, once we're in that position, then from there, I like to go pretty even on the weight. I do know players that like to have just a little bit more pressure in their left leg, but I like to go pretty even to maybe a hair more pressure in my left leg. Finally, from there, we're just going to have a touch bit of shaft lean. Don't go crazy. We don't want to take all the loft off. Again, we need some loft here to hit the ball high, but we also don't want to see the handle go back. We don't want to feel like we're adding loft in this shot. So have a touch bit of shaft lean, and now from there, you're in a great position to just let it rip, and don't be afraid to give it a bit of a hit. Let me give it a go for you right here. So now what we're going to do is jump into 2 key swing thoughts that are going to massively help you increase your chances of hitting this successfully. So like we said, we're very much hitting this like a long iron. That means when we're looking at angle of attack, which is how is that club head traveling as it hits the ball, we are still going to be seeing a descending blow. We're going to be hitting the ball and then the ground. Now, you might not take a massive divot like you might do with an iron because of the width of the sole, but we're still going to be bruising the ground as we hit it. We still need that intent of hitting down. Now, this can be sometimes quite hard to train, and actually we don't even need to go to the golf course in order to do this. What I want you to do is a very simple drill where you're going to grab a tee, you're going to pop it on the ground, and you're going to place it so the tee is pointing back at you. So you've got quite a wide little area right there. Now, here's the thing. If you want to hit a hybrid successful, like I just said, you've got to hit down on it. So what I want you to do is set up to this tee as if you are about to hit it. Now, from here, we want to make a swing, and we want to be able to clip that tee off the ground so that it is no longer there. And here's the thing. If you can do it with a tee, it's going to be an absolute breeze with a golf ball. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to set up here. Pressure's on. Can I do it first time, first take? Let's have a go. And as you can see, I've absolutely crunched that tee. It's got about 30 yards right there. And that is going to hone in my skills of making sure I can get that ball then ground contact. By making things just that little bit harder in terms of putting our focus into really getting that good ground contact, we're going to find that when we add a ball in, it's going to be so much easier. So use that really simple drill. The T drill is going to massively help you train that descending blow, making sure you can get that awesome contact. Now, the final tip that I have is give it a bit of a hit. We need speed to hit these longer clubs, especially when we're hitting it off the ground. Yes, the technology is in there to help you get the ball up in the air, but the harder you can hit it, the more club head speed you have, the easier the ball is going to get up in the air. So what I want you to do is just don't be afraid of doing it. Add a bit of speed in there. Really try and just get that club swinging around you at a nice, fast pace. If you can do that, your confidence is going to grow. If you also do the T drill whilst trying to add some speed, you're going to see some really, really awesome results. Now, one of my favorite ways of doing this is to actually do what I call the kickstart drill. And you can do these in your rehearsal swings. What does the kickstart drill look like? Well, you're going to set up inside the golf ball. We're not going to hit a shot doing this. You're going to lift the club up and move it about 2 foot forwards. Now, the reason why this drill is awesome is because it sort of gives us a bit of a running start. It gives us some momentum. So it's going to train you just to swing just that little bit faster. So if I take it to that position and now I swing back from that, I can learn what it feels like just to get a little bit of oomph, a little bit of extra kick in the swing. So then once I've done that a couple times in my pre-shot routine, I can step on in and I can swing a little bit harder. Now again, always remember we've got to maintain balance, so don't swing to where you're falling off balance, but don't be afraid to give it a hit. Don't get scared of it. So let me show you what that looks like. I've done those swings. I feel like I've got some good speed. Now let's give it a hit. So there you have it. That is how you hit a hybrid, and a hybrid can become your best friend. It can really be your get out of jail club. Now, what I would also say is when you're hitting the hybrid off the tee, tee it at a sensible height, tee it at the same height you're teeing up an iron, and hit it exactly the same way. Let's not overcomplicate this game. This game is hard enough as it is. Let's keep things the same. Just a little bit of margin of error on that tee is going to make life a lot easier. Now, if you're looking for more one-to-one help with your game, I offer online coaching on the Skillist platform. See the link down below. I've helped hundreds of people all around the world, and I'd love to help you next. If you have any questions about today's video, please ask away. But if not, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon.